We are Gathering of the Geeks. We're a podcast and a YouTube show built around the things we as geeks all love. Hashtag we gather on Sundays. Thank you for checking out the one with Martin Short sliding down a banister. I'm one of your hosts, Emmet, and I'm joined by the Ted Lasso of my coach Beard, Chris Evans. Chris, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Great. Gathering of the Geeks is available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. All you have to do is type in Gathering of the Geeks and you will find us right there. What's up, Eric? What's up, Cookie? How you guys doing on this fine Sunday evening? Chris, I had a hard time whether to call it a railing or a banister. Where do you come down on the railing versus banister conversation?
To me, it's a banister. Railing is when it's like a metal thing to me. That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
So if it was like a metal staircase, like outside, I would call it a railing. But indoors is bench. Plus, banister just sounds kind of fancy.
Yeah, well, they're in the Arconia. You know, it makes sense.
Yeah, I just had my banister redone. It's been restained.
That sounds really good.
We just installed the railing. There's a difference.
I really like how that sounds.
Yeah. It works.
So here's another thing that happened. I was ruminating about today. So you and I haven't done this since last Sunday. Talked to each other, and I had a feeling I wanted to try and. Or something happened today, and I thought about glasses, and I'm like, Chris wears glasses. What kind of glasses does he wear? But I didn't want to go back and look to see what kind of glasses you wore, so I kept thinking about it and thinking about it. Like, I don't know what kind of glasses he wears. And now that I see you wearing them, my question is, why those glasses? Like, why not like dark, like real, like the rimmed ones, like all the way around? You got the half and half kind of deal happening there. Tell me about your glasses journey here. That's mostly what I want to know about.
Well, this might not be as fun as it could be, but
no, I'm not expecting some kind of wild story like
no,
you went
I
to the
don't.
glasses store and
I just
Optimus
kind of
Prime
like
showed
them.
up or whatever.
I mean, there is Optimus Prime and everything. I just kind of like them. I like the black top look with the things on the side, kind of like fake Ray Bans because I don't want to buy Ray Bans. These are Warby Parker, and I like these. Although
It's
I
what?
want it's a brand called Warby Parker.
Ah, fancy.
But I kind of want some fun frames too because I see a lot of cool frames, and I kind of want to try that too. But I like these the most. They're simple. And I actually switched glasses this year and nobody's noticed, which is hilarious to me.
Ah.
Yeah, because I just get the same look. I like it. And also for a really long
Nobody
time,
noticed.
like as a kid, I'd always end up with like round gold glasses, and I don't know why I always hated them. But then as an adult, I always had the full black rims, and now these are my new thing. I'm settling into just buying the same thing every time. Pretty soon, I'm just gonna have like a closet full of white shirts and black shirts, and that's it.
just
Keep it simple.
just like Batman with
Yeah,
the same one.
essentially, yeah, and just racks of jeans.
Yeah.
I like black vests, so I wear. The only thing color is usually my tie. So it'll be fun. Zeal for fun frames. Oh, I'll take that. I've looked at. It's another one with Zenny. I've looked at Zenny Optical before too. Persona's glasses does it come in black. I actually had purple glasses once, and I got tired of them real fast. So,
jeez.
They did not like. Nah, this. I'm done with this crap. Bring me the black or silver. We can do that too.
I like that. Bring me the black.
Yes.
Does it come in black?
That is the question for everything I do, most of the time. Actually, I ordered a 3D bat today, and that was my question. Can I get it in solid black?
A 3D what?
A 3D bat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine does a lot of 3D printing, and they make different stuff. So I don't know if it's gonna work. I'd like this little pumpkin man. Cool. Yeah. I love this thing. They're He's making fun. Me. Yeah, he is. They're making me a 3D bat. So I'm looking forward to that. I might have it next week. We'll see.
How big do you think it'll be?
They were gonna make it as big as like the big Funko Pops, like the oversized ones. But I told them I don't have the room on my desk for that, so it'll probably be half the size. As I mentioned before, my desk is like a toy store. It's a mix of Funko Pops, action figures, and larger pops. Chris sees a red door and wants to paint it black. That is one of the best songs ever written, performed, and released. Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones. If I'm ever allowed to make a Batman movie, that is the theme song. You don't wear glasses. You must have 20/20 vision. You're one of those.
No, see my it's starting to fade. Like obviously the older I get, so I feel glasses are in my future.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, and my wife has to get new glasses this year, because she needs glasses but doesn't wear them. So now she needs to get some. And I'm going to tell her to get the dark all the way around ones, little more pronounced or whatever. But what about you? Do you wear contacts? You're a contact guy? Yeah.
Yeah, I switch it up.
Are you like Millhouse? If you take your glasses off, you just got like little beady eyes? No. I always picture that.
I like contacts too, though. I just like I'm wearing my glasses more often, though.
Mm-hmm.
But contacts are fun.
It's always so gross, man. It's in your eye.
You say that, and then when you actually do it, it's a whole different experience because you're like poking your own eye.
Yeah.
Every time, or like I pinch it, so I'm pinching my eyeball. And that's fun too if you miss the contact. And
that's horrible.
Yeah, no, it's something, but sometimes I just don't wear the glasses, so it works.
All right, Chris. So what'd you get up to this week? What did you watch? If you read anything, what's up? What's up this week?
I did read stuff this week. I read.
Nice.
I just forgot. Well, I read Batman: Long Halloween, Last Halloween #1, which, just to clarify, when Emmet and I were talking about the prologue last week, we didn't realize this was the book that was released, I think, a couple of years ago. It just been so long. It's like, oh, this is a new thing. No, it's the same book. It's the exact same thing. They just re-released it as a prologue now.
Yep.
But it's still great. Check it out. So I read Batman: The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween.
They got the first Halloween. What are we supposed to call this show?
Or call this Halloween of the best Halloween. Very entertaining. I liked it a lot. The art is not Tim Sale in this one, of course. So it is kind of a mixed bag with the visuals, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And I think they were trying to ape the Tim Sale style, and throw stones at me if you will. Tim Sale style barely works. Don't try to ape it, and then do something that works even less. But the story itself is really cool. It ends on one heck of a cliffhanger that I guess I won't spoil. But it's pretty neat. I really like the through line through it, though. This is a Two-Face story. I think that's probably my favorite aspect of it. It is very much Two-Face centric, which I do appreciate and really enjoy. And then it has some other fun stuff, like a quick chase with Selina that I thought was neat. It still feels like it's a greatest hits book, which the first one is, essentially. I like that. I also, one thing I didn't expect to enjoy is that it's exploring the early relationship of Bruce and Dick. So there's that I trust him, but he's a child kind of thing going. There's even a joke about him not having pants, which I really loved, because why has nobody brought this up? Batman's fully armored. This kid is dressed like Peter Pan in a cape. So definitely enjoyed that quite a bit. Long Halloween, Last Halloween is really good. I'm looking.
Yeah, I really liked it too, and it's interesting that the interesting idea about how Tim Sale's art works, but it's not the prettiest. That's an interesting kind of conversation. Yeah, it's an interesting idea to think about. Books that are famous from Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb, and now we're literally seeing it. How would it work if basically the Last Halloween, it feels like a very much a continuation of Dark Victory. It feels like a very much a continuation of Long Halloween. But like, how would Superman for All Seasons look or be if it didn't have Tim Sale? So it's an interesting idea, or like even the Marvel books, the Hulk Black and Gray, Captain America Red and
Spider-Man.
White. Like it, yeah. So it's a very he has a very particular style, but the stories that he's telling or gets told through the words of Loeb and then the art and Sale. It's interesting how that would work. And I guess that's what we're going to see in the last Halloween to see if it does work because we're going to have a new artist every single week.
Yeah.
So that'll be a different thing because, like I said, this issue feels like, and I don't know if it's purposeful or not. I don't recall reading anything. I think it's Eduardo Riso who's doing the art. I don't recall reading anything else from them that has their art in it. So it looks like they're trying very hard to, make it look Tim Saley. And I think it's got a little bit of Frank Miller in some spots as well. Some of the characters.
That would explain why.
And that's exactly that's the not good stuff. Like I'm thinking about the part where, Barbara's crying about James not being gone, and there's that cop. Like their facial features are very Frank Miller-y to me.
Very Frank Miller.
So we'll see how it goes going on to the next issue. But I loved it. I liked how it feels like Long Halloween's sequel. It feels like Dark Victory's sequel. And like you, I'm on the idea of there being a lot of Gilda and a lot of Two-Face in this series,
which I like. I really like Eric's comment here too. Tim Sale's style works for the story, but I wouldn't want to see it anywhere else. Exactly. If you like Tim Sale, that's cool. He's not really my favorite. Although I do love the way he draws certain characters, so I'll give him that.
Yeah.
And, also Eric also didn't realize it was the same book till he read it. It just kind of feels like, oh, this is new because it's been so long. And how many times do you really read that one shot?
I don't think they advertise, hey, we're reissuing the special from a few years ago. They kind of just said, here's a prologue to the last Halloween.
Well, yeah, it's titled Prologue. So I automatically, oh, this is new.
Yeah.
And guess what? Look in the pile of comics you have. It's not.
Right.
So yeah, I love the book too, though. It's a really good time. And you said it's weekly?
Oh, geez. Let me just look.
Because if it's weekly, that's pretty interesting. Something to look forward to, I suppose.
No, it's monthly.
Oh, okay.
The end of each month.
Nice. Then I also read Frankenstein #2. So I was really high on the first issue. I thought it was a wonderful time. Spooky. It fit the Universal Monsters universe. It was cool. I love the art in it. This one, I don't love as much. I think this one does some weird backtracking. We're revisiting the same moments from a different point of view almost. And I don't really get what we're even doing now. It feels like the story inched forward a little bit, but it was mostly just seeing the same events from Fritz's point of view. So now I'm thinking, is the next book just going to be like Elizabeth's point of view of these events? Is that what this is? And then we get a small jump at the end. Is that what this book is going to be? I know we keep comparing it to Dracula, but out of the 3 Universal Monsters books, that's one that we both enjoyed, and it did something a little different, and it was good all around. So that's the benchmark. And this one, of course, it's ahead of Creature from the Black Lagoon, but this second issue makes me question where we're going. I still enjoyed it. I'm just nitpicky about it. And I didn't love revisiting stuff. Because I think in a movie, that's fine. Like if the movie we're playing and first we see the kid's point of view, then we backtrack Quentin Tarantino style with like Stuck in the Middle with You playing, we get Fritz's point of view. That's fine. But that's not what this is. This is a whole book that we waited a month for to see it go forward, and we're back kind of at square one. That's my take.
It's an interesting thought about it. It is like we're going to see differing perspectives on how the creature is made, I suppose. So I didn't mind it as much as you, I don't think. I liked I like the last 2 pages specifically.
I actually saved, because I read it digitally, so I saved it. That's probably gonna be my lock screen for all of October.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff there. with Fritz and the monster, and like the stuff with Elizabeth, I thought was kind of interesting. I thought the stuff that was happening with the Dr. Frankenstein, with I forget who the other person is that's there.
Oh, the mentor, the doctor.
Yeah,
He just
the
seems
other
great.
guy. That would be funny.
Oh, he is great.
Yeah, so just I kind of find that the relationship between those ones nice, and yeah, I don't know. I didn't find the backtracking as much as an issue with me, but it'll be interesting if it keeps going like this, I suppose.
That's
Issue
my
after issue.
concern.
Yeah, so I guess it'll kind of be a wait and see.
Hey, Daddy.
What's up,
Um,
Sid?
yeah, I'm hoping that we get back on track in the third issue because this.
Mm,
I'm not saying the second issue is bad. It's not. I enjoyed it.
hmm
It's just
hmm
not as much. First issue is completely stellar. It's got sad stuff. It's got monster stuff. It's got great art. I like it.
hmm
This one, that last one of the, I think it's like the second to last page.
hmm
I think is just a
hmm
work of art.
Yeah.
Frame that, put it on my wall.
hmm Yeah,
But
fair enough.
those were my reads. I didn't get to anything else. I meant to, of course, and I didn't.
hmm
I'm missing all the X
hmm
Men books that I was waiting so long for, so I need to go back and read
hmm
those.
Yep.
What'd you get up to?
That's the only two I had as well. I
Oh, okay.
wanted to read more. Spectrograph number 3 was out. I wanted to get to that. Pharaoh number 6, the sequel to Stray Dogs, is moving along, and I still wanted to get to that one, but I didn't get to it either. So yeah, just those two, and even New Saga was out this week as well that I didn't get to. So I just got to those two as
Always
well.
a new
Last
saga.
Halloween and Frank number 2.
There's always new saga. It doesn't stop.
That's right.
I found my copy of Spectrograph, so
I
that's
know. I
cool.
saw it. So
Yeah,
it's that's a very nice cover for issue number 1 too. I like that
yeah. Forgot I had it.
one.
It just popped up on the counter one day. Oh, there it is.
hmm
Um, yeah, this week I'd like to catch up on some X Men stuff, so I might spend my reading time doing that.
Nice.
We'll see.
Nice.
Yeah. What did anybody in the comments read anything this week? And if so,
hmm
what'd you like? Because there was actually a lot of stuff this week. I was looking at the list. There was a lot.
Yeah, it was a big week. I wanted to get to the Wolverine Revenge book from Hickman and Capullo.
Yeah, I've
Didn't
heard
get
it's
to that one
really good.
either. So it's only the second issue, so I'm not too far behind. I thought it was going to be a lot further behind, but still there. So gonna have to get to a lot because all those Absolute books are going to be coming out real soon, and I want to be able to keep up on those ones.
Yeah, Batman is this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be
This
sold
week
out
or next
everywhere,
week?
but it works for me since I read digital anyway. I did want that physical, though.
I think that one's the week after.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, I'll find it.
Yeah, so it's the 9th. Yeah.
Okay.
Next week is the all-in special, though. Kind of launching
So would I
the.
need to read that?
You don't have to. I read it, and you don't have to read it. It just kind of tells some more stories, and you haven't been reading Absolute Power.
Yeah, I don't even know what it is.
Either. So no, I think you'll be fine.
Okay, cool.
I haven't read Wolverine, or not Wolverine, Wonder Woman or Superman yet. I've only read Batman Absolute number 1, but from just reading that one, you don't need to know anything about what's happening. So
Cool. I just need to know Batman is different.
600 pounds,
600 pounds, and he has a really different cape this time around.
different cape, different cowl, different symbol, all different.
Same heart of gold.
That's right. Same orphan heart of gold.
Same orphan heart of gold. I like it. Anyway.
Yeah, what about some watches?
I watched some things. I finished Terminator Zero,
Mm.
and I thought that was fantastic. I still didn't love the Malcolm stuff with Kokoro. Did not like that really. That to me came off as like I don't really watch anime, although I'm starting to now, I guess. But I don't usually watch
Wait
it.
a second.
But yeah, wait a minute. But the Malcolm stuff to me was like, okay, this is the anime stuff I don't want to watch.
Yeah.
I don't get it, and it's just a lot for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really even understand the real purpose of it, of the AI with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I get it, but did we need this? And then when you look at that with the films, it doesn't correlate at all.
Mm.
Like, everything still happens.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we needed to adjust that ending a bit, but still. Terminator Zero is a really fun time if you're a Terminator fan. A lot of cool
Yeah.
stuff in there, some insane action, and some batshit crazy stuff you'd expect from Terminator involving time travel, parentage, ancestors, things like that. It's everything you'd want, except Edward Furlong.
Yes, that's exactly.
But you do get Timothy Oliphant being creepier than ever. So that was fun. I enjoyed Terminator Zero. And then sticking with the anime train, I decided to try watching Cyberpunk Edge Runners. It's really good too.
I was so confused when you text me and you said if you watched them, like what? Why are you messaging me if you'd watch it? Like,
I don't
why do
know.
you even know this exists? Like, why do you care about this show?
Well, they announced the second season's coming like a week ago. I was like, I didn't even know there was
Okay.
a first season.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I want to watch something different that I wouldn't normally, and I do
Mm-hmm.
like this anime. So what else might I like?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really enjoying that. I'm 4 episodes in. There's 10 episodes total.
Hmm.
They're about 20 minutes each, I think. So
Mm-hmm.
pretty quick, and it's really entertaining. It is very anime though, like a lot.
Like even more anime than Terminator Zero.
Oh yes,
Okay.
yeah, because this doesn't hide that. Like it's anime. You know,
I
you got the voices, like those
get
big
you.
voices and everything. The
Mm-hmm.
actions kind of like that, but like I said, it's entertaining. Kind of makes me want to play the game, even though I know it's nothing like the game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's out. Playing the game, I mean. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna finish that this week. And I watched Only Murders in the Building, which I know you did too, based on the title.
Yes. Yes.
They have not missed this season.
This
Every
episode is so good.
It really is. It's not even like it's as funny as the others, but the story really picks up here.
Mm-hmm.
Like the story picks up sooner than usual with Only Murders,
Yeah.
and it's just so good. It's funny. I really was like, how are they going to do another season? What else
Mm-hmm.
can they do? They're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So much fun.
Yeah. There was so much in this episode, but like it seems like there's been little pockets of, so far people getting their attention on them.
Hmm.
Like the Steve Martin had his moments earlier, but then having Martin Short doing his little like race from one end to the Arconia, the west side, to the other side. His outfit that he's wearing, him just sliding down a banister, and him being, it took him 40 minutes,
Yeah.
just and they're all just waiting on the other side, and it's just so good. And like in I can't remember if it was the episode before this or the one before that, where I was a little off put by the actors
Hmm.
playing them. Zach Galifianakis, Eugene Levy,
Yeah.
and what's her name? Um, Not Eva Mendes, Eva Longoria.
Yeah, you were close.
Yeah, it took me a little while just to get used to them, but in this episode, it felt a little bit better, especially with Zach Galifianakis and Martin Short.
Hmm.
Talking a little bit more. So I'm really starting to like the relationship between the three of them. And what's the guy's name with the pig?
Howard.
What's Howard? He's been so good this season.
I
Really
think
funny.
I think they must receive letters to put Howard in it more
Yeah,
because he is in this one a lot.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
always been in the opening though. Like when you watch the animated opening, Howard is there,
Mm-hmm,
so it's cool that they're using him more.
mm-hmm.
I like
Yeah,
Howard.
he's been really, really fun this
Yes,
season.
Howard is a good guy. He's fun,
Mm-hmm.
but it's another stellar episode, and I like the
Very
cliffhanger this
much.
one has.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know what's happening, but I like it.
Well, it's back-to-back episodes with the cliffhanger now, because last episode ended with Molly Shannon pointing the gun at them, saying
Oh yeah, yeah,
she
that's
was
right.
going to kill them,
Yeah,
and that
but that
obviously
was,
very quickly turned around not to be anything. So,
but I didn't expect that to be anything.
yeah.
Like that was like I would call that a non cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you knew, okay, Molly Shannon is not going to shoot them.
Yeah.
You just kind of this is not what it looks
Mm-hmm.
like.
Yeah.
There's another character, perhaps, but this
Mm-hmm.
ain't gonna fly.
Mm-hmm.
But those are my watches as far as TV goes. I didn't get to Rings of Power yet, but I will. I was busy
Me
watching
neither.
anime.
I'm saving that to watch it more closer to our records.
I kind of prefer that because there's so much
Yeah.
information,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have the time to rewatch it as much
That's right.
because I'm busy watching anime.
Mm-hmm.
But like you do.
Mm-hmm.
On to the movies. Cookie says, I watched Dinner in America, loved it, unconventional rom com. Yeah, I saw you tweet about this. Um, is it? It is a comedy though, right? I'm kind of interested. And it has the guy from Strange Darling, who I think now I'm on board with whatever he does.
Mm.
So I'm gonna watch this probably this week. But I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't sure if it's actually a comedy or I didn't want to watch a trailer for it.
Mm.
Eric said, watch Only Murders and Rings of Power. That's a good combination.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as far as the movies go for me, I revisited Scream 4 because I like Scream. I like Scream 4. But also, I was the moderator for a debate with my buddies Phil Walsh and Andy Caruso, which will be at Phil at the Movies, I think, this week. Maybe. If Phil can help me.
Help me. Help me.
I think it's this week. They were debating who the best final girl is, Sydney Prescott or uh, Laurie Strode.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert, it's a pretty good discussion. So
Spoiler alert, it's a good
yeah,
discussion.
it's a good
Those are the
discussion.
best. Those are the best kind of spoilers.
It's pretty fun. I enjoyed it. And I think fans of both franchises will get a real kick out of it. And 'tis the season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, so it's very funny. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that this week. I wanted to see that. I love Scream 4. Scream 4 is one of my favorites of the franchise. And it's I think one of the more controversial ones. Some people hate it. I enjoy it.
Just because of the characters, like because of Emma Roberts, or
I don't really know what people hate about it because I don't really pay attention. But
hmm.
from what I understand, it is more controversial than the other
Hmm.
ones. I actually like Emma Roberts as Jill. I think she's fantastic and kind of one, in my opinion, one of the best killers of the trilogy, or not trilogy, the series.
What
If you haven't
about
seen the movie, that was a horrible spoiler. Sorry.
yeah? What about the Culkin? What do you like the Culkin and Emma
I
Roberts
don't
kind
even
of
know his name.
relationship?
He's just,
Rory, that's Rory.
is that Rory?
Well, Rory
Not
Culkin. I don't know his name in the movie, but
I don't know. He's not the one from
yeah,
Succession. I like that one.
that's right.
That's the good Culkin.
Mm-hmm.
He's okay in it.
Yeah.
You could tell where the kind of hierarchy of Culkins are. It's Macaulay, the one from Succession, this guy.
The hierarchy of Culkins.
That's the hierarchy of Culkins. Yes.
That's really good.
I don't remember. I don't even know the one from Succession. I don't remember his name, but he's great. He's also
Kieran Culkin.
yes, Kieran is great. He's in that new movie I want to see with Jesse Eisenberg.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to catch that whenever I also get time. It's a trilogy of more than 3 films. Yes, it is. It's an ongoing trilogy.
You had this conversation on DC Unlimited, I think, recently about this
Which one?
trilogy because JJ was on talking about trilogies.
Mm-hmm.
And he's on this thing about what are trilogies.
Yeah.
How so in specifically to Scream here, how do you justify or categorize the trilogy versus it's up to what is it 6 movies now? How do you feel about that idea? It's like Eric saying, it's trilogy plus more films, or is it just 6 movies?
Trilogy.
How
No,
do you,
I would say just 6 movies because there's
yeah.
not a through line, so it's 6 movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dark Knight trilogy has a through line through it.
Right.
So that's why I see that's 1, 2, 3. Whereas this is just a series of stuff that happens.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's why I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Scream 4 is good. I like it. And check out the discussion whenever it's online. Follow Phil. He'll tell you.
Phil.
I think it's Friday. As we all know, I'd be the final guy in a Scream movie. Come get me, Ghostface. Maybe you would. I mean, Randy does survive the first one. I would put you on the same level as Randy.
I'd be okay with being Randy. Randy's awesome.
Yeah, Randy's cool. So Zeddy, I think Zeddy would be one of the finals. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'd get caught in the garage door. So
Mm.
That's probably what would happen.
Going through the doggy hole.
Yeah. That or
So
I might
funny.
be under one of the masks. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Depends what day you catch me lately. To me, a trilogy is 3. Anything more than that can be considered a franchise. That's a good point too. That's a
So
good
it's the
point.
Scream franchise. It's not the
Yeah, Scream
Scream
franchise.
trilogy, right?
Yeah, I would call it franchise. Yeah, bingo. Those are the rules of a trilogy. There you go. So I watched that, and then I don't. Hold on. The distraction that paused to think about it for a second does not go unnoticed to me. Okay, we love you. um, yeah. Anyway, I don't know what caused this, but I decided to watch both Sicario films because I'd never seen them before.
When you messaged me about this, I'm like, well, what brought this on?
I don't know. I just kind of felt like, hey, it's time.
Yeah.
They were both on Hulu, I think, is where I watched them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. I was like, oh, I'm going to watch them now. The first one, I mean, I know everybody loves it anyway, but I'm just going to add to it. It is amazing. This is like a
Mm-hmm.
masterpiece of a film. It is so good. Everything about it is amazing, I think. Um, and it's a movie that I don't even realize Denis Villeneuve even directed because it's
Mm.
not what I'm used to seeing from him. For some reason, when I
Sure.
think of him, my mind goes Dune, Blade Runner. I don't think Prisoners or this.
Yeah, you think of bigger stuff, eh?
Bigger stuff, bigger budget,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of things. But I'd even
Mm-hmm.
say this may be my favorite Denis Villeneuve movie.
Mm-hmm.
This or Arrival. It's one of these two.
Mm.
And I love both Dune movies, but I think it's one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
Arrival to me is still just absolutely cinematic magic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, I really love Sicario 1, and I was shocked at the ending. Somehow that never got spoiled for me. I didn't even know what the movie was, actually. I thought they were like FBI agents doing FBI stuff, cracking down on things. It's not what it
Mm-hmm.
is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very intense movie about drug cartels and Josh
Mm-hmm.
Brolin in flip flops. It was pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love
then
number one. I'm with you. It's my favorite Denis Villeneuve movie. So
it's so good. Like,
yeah,
how did I never watch this thing?
I don't
And I,
know.
and I know when it came out, I was like, I want to see that, but at the time, I just didn't. So
I think that might have been the first one that I saw of his too. I think
three,
so.
to quote Rings of Power, is balance. Cookie says, according to Rings of Power, 7 and 9 are balanced. I don't get the math. Thanks to the Potato Show for bringing that up because it makes no sense.
379. Come on.
What is it? The power of three. How did he say it? Or how
Uh,
he puts it? The
well,
balance
he
of
talks about
three.
it's the third. I can't remember. The third forge, and I don't know. Yeah,
Some kind of
moving on.
some kind
Anatar
of
stretches anything he can do to get Celebrimbor to do what he wants.
say some kind of Anatar bullshit. But I love it, so I'm in for it.
Hmm.
Um, and then I watched Sicario 2.
Hmm.
So I didn't hate it. I liked it, but I made the mistake of watching them almost back to back. Should not have done that. These
Hmm.
are very different movies, and when you watch them like that, the comparisons are inevitable. Sicario 2 is good. It is not the first one, and I feel like they ignored the first one even existed. The characters don't feel the same. Like
Yep.
Benicio del Toro's Alejandro is a whole different thing in the sequel. He's very talkative. He has a heart of gold, and it's just weird. Just I
Hmm.
still enjoyed it, but it's just weird. Josh
Hmm.
Brolin doesn't even feel the same. The only guy that felt the same was Jeffrey Donovan's character because you don't
Hmm.
even see him in the
Yeah.
first one. But it's good. It's worth watching.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. I think the problem is they took the idea of what Emily Blunt's character meant to the first one, like the idea of her and everything that happens with John Berthnall's character and everything that happens with her friend,
Mm-hmm.
who I can't remember his
Reggie.
his name. What's that?
Reggie.
Yeah, so everything that, like, the idea of her being like a fish out of water, this good character, in with all of bad people, where in number two it's just all bad people doing all bad things. I think they not that I don't think that Emily Blunt, if she was in the second one, would have made it any better. Possibly she would have, but it's just the idea of what her character is in the first one, and her story from the very first
That's a lot
scene
of it
to
too.
like the scene with the
It's
house
her
and the drugs
movie.
in it to the very end. Exactly, it's her story versus her story with like some stuff mixed in. But all that mixed in stuff is the idea for the second one, and I just don't think it works as much because they're trying to do something. They're trying to make a movie. I think from the entirety of the highway scene.
Yes.
Like it just feels like they're just trying to make that scene the entire movie, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't work for me anyway. So I like it too. It's serviceable. It's a good time, but it's like that comparing it, like you're saying, to the first one, it's impossible because the first one's a masterpiece.
It is. It's like I don't even know another comparison that would work for this. But it's just weird to watch it, to watch them back to back, and the way they change Alejandro's character still is bizarre to me because you
Mm-hmm.
see what he did at the end of the first one, and then he's dealing with a character whose father is directly responsible, pretty much for the death of his family, and he's treating her a very specific way.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's on his redemption arc at this point.
Mm-mm.
So, anyway, good movie. It's not the first one. Then I started to watch Oddity, and Oddity is a horror movie that it kind of came and
Ah,
went.
Jesus!
Yes, that is correct.
Just saw a picture. Sweet Jesus!
Yes. So it came and went because there was just so much out at the time. I only watched the first 30 minutes. I thought it was very good, but I was way too tired to process it last night, so I turned it off.
Mm.
I will be finishing it probably tonight or tomorrow. But that was pretty good for myself. I saw everybody talking
Looks
about it. She
like
was
a
like, "Oh, I didn't
creepy
even know
guy.
this is out." It's actually makes me feel better about paying for the AMC app still, because that's where it's at.
You still you in that AMC app?
I keep forgetting to cancel it, and then they keep adding stuff I want to watch. Cookie says Artie was great. Reminded me of an old school Vincent Price horror. Yeah, it has that kind of quality to it, and I was actually thinking Hammer. It reminds me of Hammer films.
Mm-hmm.
So those were my watches. I like stuff.
Pumpkin Oddity that came out this year. Yeah,
I want to
I
say
never
it
even heard
was.
about it.
I want to say it was like June-ish or maybe July. It wasn't in theaters very long because there was just too much other stuff. And then Long Legs, the anticipation for Long Legs kind of took away from every other horror movie, and rightfully so. Long live Long Legs.
Rightfully so.
Yes, long live Long Legs. What did you watch?
I tried to watch Long Legs, but it didn't work out for me. So we'll try again this week. So I watched Gran Turismo.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It was okay. What it made me think of is how much I love Ford v Ferrari.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen a movie like that
No.
where they're, this is two racing movies, but the racing scenes and the I don't know the hand holding we needed in the in this Gran Turismo scene by David Harbour, who's like the coach. It's just they're hand holding the viewer so much, and the racing scenes are just not realistic. The scenes aren't very good. Again, when I think about it, first comparing it to Ford v Ferrari, where in both of the final scenes of the movie, they're going to the 24 hours of Le Mans. So it's
Mhm.
just like the constant comparisons right there. But it's a good time. It's like it's I watch it with my son. My son's a big video gamer right now, so this idea that a video gamer can actually do something with his life is a kind of a cool idea.
Has he watched The
Um,
Wizard yet?
no.
Oh,
Yeah, so good time. But Ford v Ferrari. So is there a movie like that for you, Chris, where you watch it and it makes you appreciate another movie even more? Because something that movie didn't do as well as another one, like I guess Sicario 2 and Sicario 1.
yeah. I guess I could see it like that. Mostly, like I don't think I get reactions like that. I get reactions more like if this thing got made, I could make like In a Violent Nature. After watching that, I want to write a letter to Universal begging them to let me make a Dracula film, please.
Yeah, that's right.
If this thing can get funded, I know I could do something better. I beg of you. So that's kind of the reactions I get to stuff I don't
Uh-huh.
like. Not so much,
Right.
man, this makes me miss that.
Yeah, that makes me miss something else entirely.
No,
And
I don't
yeah,
usually get that.
that's fair. Yeah, so that's Gran Turismo. But the other thing, we went to the movies this week.
Oh, you did?
My son and my cousin's kid and my wife, and we saw Transformers 1.
Hmm.
And it's one of my favorite movies of the year. It's very funny. The action is great. The story is very good. I'm a minimal Star Wars or Transformers fan. Like I never really watched the cartoon when I was a kid. That just wasn't my thing. I read the comic now a little bit, but I'm off of it. I like the Michael Bay movies to a certain point, but not really, my biggest thing. But this movie had everything, specifically for taking my son to the movies. It's like I was the one laughing the most. I felt like that there was a lot of good humor that wasn't just kiddie humor, but then also the kid humor was also very fun. One of the things that my wife and I laughed at, Keegan Michael Key from Key and
Mhm.
Peele. His character, Coach Garvey, who does the substitute teacher thing where he mispronounces the kids'
Hey,
names.
Aaron, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a transformer. He calls him Atron in the movie. so me and my wife are huge fans of that skit, and when he said Atron, we just looked at each other and started laughing. So that was a great time. Yeah, so like the story is very interesting. It gets very serious, but it's also got those like stand up and cheer moments that are very cool. So highly recommend Transformers 1 to a lot of people. One of my favorites of the year so far.
I'm waiting to go with Zoe. I keep asking
Hmm.
her if she doesn't want to go, but she liked the trailer, so we'll see.
Yeah, it was either Wild Robot or Transformers 1.
Hmm.
Because I know Wild Robot's also getting some big reviews right now.
I'm gonna go with or without her to see that. I just
Yeah.
want. I've been waiting for Wild Robot, so
Yeah. Apparently, it's a book series. My little cousin told me that.
oh,
So he had read the books, and I didn't even know that they were a book series. So that's an interesting idea. I wonder
if I
if I
weren't illiterate, I would read it.
can. That's not the reason you're not reading your books, Chris. Yeah, so Transformers one great time. We watched Inside Out today. I went to put on Inside Out 2
Mhm.
today, and my son's like, Dad, I haven't seen Inside Out 1. I'm like, well, that's great. And we put that on and watched that. Bing Bong, that poor bastard. He gets me every time.
He got what he deserved.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so actually watching it this time was the first time I watched it all the way through. I think I put it
Oh,
on
really?
once and then walked away from it. So I'm glad that I watched it all the way. It's great, obviously, but now I'm really looking forward to number 2. You saw 2 and
Yes.
you loved it, right? I think.
Yes, I love both Inside Out films, but the
Okay.
second one hits a little differently,
Okay.
and I think I prefer it by a hair. The
Hmm.
addition of anxiety as an emotion,
Right.
I think, just speaks to every adult. When
Hmm.
because the Inside Out films, I think, are great for adults and kids, but with the second one bringing anxiety into the fold, it really just it works.
Yeah.
Is it on Disney Plus?
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus just this week, I think it was. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
why I went to put it on, and then we put on 1 instead. So
That's why
uh,
that explains why I've been seeing people talk about it again.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I watched Fury Road and Furiosa back to back this week. That was
What
a
was that
good
like?
time. It was
Did you watch
awesome.
Furiosa first, or
No, see, I'm an idiot, and I said, "Oh, I just watched Fury Road." So I watched Fury Road. I'm like, "Oh, right, I should watch Furiosa too." I wondered about that. It's not horrible watching them like that. Watching Fury Road first and then watching Furiosa. It's really not.
yeah? But the ending of Furiosa is mad. It is Fury Road.
I get it, but it's something about it still works for me. I think, and it's that's the way they were released. But like watching them so close together is almost like watching them reverse because you can still get the great understanding of the story. But yeah, so one thing I really thought about as I was reading it or watching Furiosa, and I think we talked about it when we did talk about Furiosa, but Chris Hemsworth as the Great Dementis. I don't know if enough people are talking about his performance as the Great Dementis, but I think they should be. I think he's incredible. Like physically, his voice, the final scene that he has with Furiosa. I think it's his best, my favorite performance from Chris Hemsworth. But I don't know if enough people are talking about it, how great it is.
I actually kind of think, and I know this word gets thrown around a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but I think Chris Hemsworth is actually underrated as an actor because he's really versatile. He does a lot of different stuff, and he handles all of it really well. Like he's very funny. He's
Mm-hmm.
very charismatic. He does great in like gruff action roles like Extraction.
Mm-hmm.
He was also in that racing movie I can never remember the name of, and he was good in that.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
It was like I think it was before Thor, if I'm not mistaken.
I feel like it's called Race. It's not called
I was gonna say it's
Race.
called Red. So both of us are wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's a Red Race. Race Red.
Red Racing.
Red Racing. 2020
uh,
or something. I don't know. Is it called
get there.
Drive? No, Drive is Ryan.
Rush.
Yeah.
Rush.
Okay, there you go.
We were both wrong.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But in the middle, there was a red
Between Drive and
Drive.
Red, there's
Yeah.
Rush.
But I really like Chris Hemsworth. I think he's really fun and he does a lot of good stuff. Even like in the Ghostbusters, Who You Gonna Call? I believe is what they call it now.
Mm-hmm.
He's not bad in that either. He's really charismatic and funny again.
Mm-hmm.
I think he can do a lot of different stuff.
Mm-hmm. Did you see Bad Times at the El Royale?
No, I've heard he's really good in that, and that's been on my list forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just feel like he's one of those guys that would benefit getting away from doing the standard MCU superhero stuff and doing those weirder projects like the Great Dementis, and then I know that movie Bad Times at the El Royale is quite different and
Mm-hmm.
has some funky things in it. So he feels like that kind of guy.
I'd
Yeah,
like to.
I would say that he's underused and can be quite a good actor.
Did you like him as Optimus Prime?
Yeah, so Orion Pax and eventually Optimus Prime. I was surprised that he didn't do his accent. He does like an American accent. He
I
doesn't
think
do
that's
his
what people are
Australian
used to
one.
hearing from him.
Sure. So yeah, he was great.
I usually hear Thor's voice when I see him, no matter what
Mm-hmm.
he is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Chris Hemsworth is cool. I'd like to see him.
Yeah.
I want to see him paired with somebody like Robert Pattinson.
Mm.
Like, give them some kind of buddy movie.
Right. Right.
I want to see that. Put him in the Batman too. There's Harvey Dent.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, that'd be wild.
That would be well. I'm in.
I would like to see him do a straight lined movie where he's not playing a big character. Like he's
That's what
obviously he's great. He's the Great Dementis, but just being a dude,
that's what he
just
was
being
in
a guy.
Rush. And I think of
Uh,
that other movie, the what is it called? Great Times at Oriel. What is it?
See, I don't know. I don't know if he was just a normal person. I thought he was a funky guy too.
I don't really know what that movie's about. I just know I want to see it.
Well, now I'm watching it this week, so
Then you can
that's
let
it.
us both know how it is. Because I know
Yeah,
I'm not
I
going
will.
to do it.
Yeah.
The movies I'm finishing this week are Oddity and the one Cookie mentioned, the Dinner in America movie. That's probably what I'm watching.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to Joker and whatnot.
I was gonna say what day? Yeah, that's all my watches. Although, but when are you going to see Fully Do this week?
Tomorrow at 7.
Oh boy, Monday.
Yeah, seeing it
Hot
tomorrow.
shot, eh?
That's one
Oh,
of those
hey.
fans. The AMC was doing a fan event for it, so they're doing it on Monday.
Do you
And I'm
get
pretty excited.
you can tweet anything you want after that, or do you have to wait? Do
Yeah,
you think?
I could tweet. I loved it. I hated it. I thought it was terrible. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. I look forward to those tweets. I look forward to those hated tweets.
No. I'm gonna, I'm hoping for the best. The reviews are mixed as I expected, but the trailers look cool. So, and again, Lady Gaga's Harley just sounds cool to me. I'm in for that. Plus, she released the Harley Quinn album, which I'm not listening to until I see the movie.
Yeah, what'd you think about that? I was quite the surprise, but not a surprise. Also, I'd be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Jeez.
I was surprised because they said since the movie's a musical, I assume there's gonna be no music, like regular music in it, really. And then the music we've seen in it is like, Fly Me to the Moon or something.
So none of this music that she did for it is in the movie?
Oh, I have no idea. That's why I wanted to wait.
Okay.
I figure I'll wait and see the movie, and then I could listen to it afterward. Gotcha. It's hard for me to say no to more Lady Gaga music.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But yeah, I see it tomorrow.
Sweet.
Hoping it's good, or hoping I like it anyway. We shall see.
Indeed. Yeah. Anything else you want to chat about, Chris?
No. I thought it was funny though. We went live right in the middle of the Penguin.
Oh, is that what we're doing again? Back to when we were going live during Game of Thrones, and now we're going live for the Penguin. Okay, good. Yeah, that's all right.
I'm sure nobody's missing anything important.
Oh yeah, well, we started a half hour later, so we caught some viewers at the end. Maybe. Regardless. All right. All right, Chris. Where can people find you?
You guys can follow me on Twitter at thatchris70. I do a bunch of different stuff, so you can just find me there. But I would love it if you would follow this show at G of the Geeks. Emmet is better with the rest of the plug, so he's going to go ahead and take over.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Emmet Davis 7. Gathering of the Geeks is available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. You just got to search for us right there. Yeah, we will have a new episode of Elves, Hobbits, and Potatoes releasing sometime in the middle of the week, where we'll be talking about the penultimate episode of Rings of Power, because we've already got the season finale this week, which is wild to think about. So make sure you guys are checking us out there wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you, Eric, Cookie, Phil, Zeddy. Thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate you every Sunday, and hopefully we'll see you next Sunday as well. So for Chris, and I'm Emmet, and we gather on Sundays.
End of session.